Everybody, it's me. I'm here. So let's see, let's fix my hair here. Hey, hey guys. Hello, happy Saturday. Hey Mia. All right, welcome to live chat. Remember your guide. Careful. I was like, what is it? What is it saying to me? All right, so I'm gonna kind of let you guys kind of get in for a second and start to like line up in here. And when as soon as you get into the room, you guys can start asking your questions, and I'll try to get to as many of you as I can. Hey Mia. Hello. Hey, Miriam. Miriam. All right, people are starting to get in here. Hello, Marie. Hello, MS. Hi, Joe. Hey, guys. Happy Saturday. I hope you guys are having a good Saturday. So, hello, Ronnie. Oh, there you are. Yay, y'all. Everybody's starting to get in now. Like, whenever there's like not enough people, I'm like, oh God, what's going on? Did nobody like, get the message? So hey, Tonks Loopy. Hey, love the reading today, Fernie. I'm glad you would like the reading. I'm glad. I don't remember which one you were. I had 15 appointments today, so I don't remember which one you were, but um, all right, guys. So you can go ahead and start asking your questions. You don't have to wait for me to start. And just be specific with your questions. You're going to ask about your life, so that way I can get through as many of you as I can. If you just ask like, what do I see, or tell you something about yourself, that's too general. I'm just going to pass you up. If you want to know about a loved one in spirit, just let me know who you want me to connect with, and I'll try to connect you with that person and to share maybe a few pieces of information or messages that might be significant. And so, just FYI, I don't see them. I don't see them. I don't hear them. I have to basically communicate with them through the thoughts in my head. So they have to use and trigger my thoughts and my emotions and my memories, and I've got to work with that to figure out where they're going with it. And even then, I may not figure out like what they're trying to say about it. So I may just throw it at you or let you know what I'm getting, and then hopefully you'll have the pieces that you can figure out what they were trying to say. For those of you who are asking about like a career, be specific. Like, what about a career do you want to know about? If you want to know about finances, what specifically about finances or money do you want to know about? If you want to know about a relationship, what specifically about a relationship or a romance do you want to know about? So just be specific, and I will try to get to as many of you as I can, okay? So I'm going to start bouncing through. Let's see. Okay, so let's see. Hello, Veronica. Okay, so Miriam, what do my guides want me to know? These questions, like whenever someone asks that, because I used to be the same way where I was like, come on, like just tell me what you want me to know. Like there's the assumption that they want you to know something specific, or that they are trying to specifically tell you one thing. And our guides don't really work that way. Guides are with us, they're trying to help support us when we're going through our lives. They're not telling us to do anything. They may like push us in a particular direction, or they may point something out to us. It's really our life still. We're still responsible. So just FYI with that. But let me go back to your question, because I want to answer your question here. Miriam, what do my guides want me to know about? I think they want you to be patient. So 2 months. They said 2 months, be patient. So I don't know if you're waiting for something specifically right now in your life, or you're like on in a holding pattern. But the way they're making me feel is wait 2 months, and then it'll make more sense, or wait 2 months, and then you'll understand why this is happening the way it is. So I think you need to kind of be patient. I'm almost wanting to say it might have to do with work or career, but just FYI with that. Okay. um, Fred Carrillo. Can you tell me my spirit guide's name, please? Your spirit guide's name, I believe, is Andrew. Yeah, I think your spirit guide's name is Andrew, because I'm seeing, I thought it was Andy, but I'm thinking it's Andrew. Marie Bright went to the store and it's crazy, had to leave. Oh, I completely understand. Apparently they opened everything back up in Houston, so I don't really know what's going on there. And apparently nobody's like standing like a feet apart from each other or anything, so I don't know what's going on in Houston. Richard, you need to be a specific question. Hello, scene. If I can get a reading, please, thanks. Yeah, me reading that was your opportunity to ask that question. So you got to you got to ask a specific question. I'm not going to do a full reading for you. That's going to take all day. That's going to take like a whole hour. So you need to be specific about your question, and then I'll come back around and look for you. Joe Maldonado, happy Saturday. Will my job be transferring me to another city? I actually think that there might be two transfers. So I think that they are going to be transferring to a different city temporarily. And then after they're done with that, which might be for about, I want to say 4 to 6 months, there's another transfer that may take place as well. But the transfer to that, the second transfer is closer to home than the first one. The first one feels a little bit farther away. The second one feels a little bit closer to home. Okay. Marie Bright, for any messages from my sister, from mom or brothers, please, thank you. Yeah, your mom. Um, it's funny because your mom says you should be getting paid for babysitting. I don't know if you've been taking care of a lot of kids, or if you've been involved in taking care of kids, or if there's an opportunity for you to get more involved with being around kids. But your mom was making a joke about you should be getting paid for babysitting. So I would say that there's something there that she's trying to make a reference to. She also keeps acknowledging. She keeps closing my nose, so I almost feel I don't know if she was having trouble breathing or something was affecting the way that she could breathe through her nose, but she's like tightening my nose because she's doing this. So she's acknowledging that. She also keeps acknowledging a bracelet that might have like I don't know if it has unicorns or horses, or there's something about a bracelet that has like a horse, or that may have some sort of Western style, but there's something there that she's making a reference to as well. She also keeps acknowledging coming in a dream, but she has connected with you or tried to come to see you in a dream state. She also keeps acknowledging the number 6. So either the month of June or the number 6 might be significant. Okay. Sandra Garza, do you see me getting back with my ex? I feel like there might be an opportunity, possibly within 3 or 4 months, but I don't really think it's going to go anywhere. So I would say probably not in the long term. You might try to get back together, but trying to get back together and actually getting back together are two separate things. I'm not actually thinking y'all are going to get back together, but there may be an attempt within 3 or 4 months. Sharmala, hey Fernie, I feel my relationship with my brother isn't the same. Is it just in my head, or will things get better? Also, does my grandma have anything to say about this? As far as your brother is concerned, I think your brother is keeping some things from you, or he's not sharing some things about his life that either he's not really wanting to share, or he may be a little bit like scared to share. So there may be something there that has to do with that. I also keep feeling. That things will probably stay more or less the same for a good 2.5 years. After 2.5 years, something has changed. And when that 2.5 year period comes, I think that at that point, y'all may have an opportunity to get closer, or you may be able to kind of understand where he was coming from and be able to work on the relationship. Excuse me. Okay. Jesus. All right. Um, Liz de Leon. Houston is crazy for me. I don't get it. Oh, you'll get it in about 2 weeks. You'll get it in about 2 weeks, girl. Sarika Ode. Can you tell me anything about older niece? She is autistic, but we found a treatment. What should we do? As far as like, should you do the treatment or not? I think there's going to be two treatments that y'all pursue or that y'all try out with her. The first one may not be enough, and so I feel like it's going to be followed up with an additional treatment that it may have something more to do with speech therapy. But I do think that there's going to be two separate treatments that y'all attempt or try to do with her, and that's probably going to be within 7 months, between 7 to 12 months, is what I would say. Happiness is freedom. Hey, Fernie, my name is Denise. Can you tell me why my cousin distanced herself from me again? We used to be real close. Her name is Mimi. Yeah, I feel like she might feel judged, or she might feel like people are judging her, even though you may not have intentionally done anything to like make her feel that way. I feel that she may feel like she's being judged, and it's possible you may have just said one or two things, and it came across, excuse me, it came across that way. But I'm thinking it's something to do with that. I don't think it's anything more serious than that. Okay. As far as like being close again, I think she's going to do this again. So don't be surprised if she pops back into the picture by the end of the year as well. Um, Nan531, can you tell me my spirit guide's name, please, please? Your spirit guide's name is I want to say it's Joseph or Joshua. I want to say it's either Joseph or Joshua. I wouldn't actually be surprised if there's also a family member and there's a family member showing up to say hello, but then there's also the spirit guide and their names are getting crossed because there might actually be both. But so just FYI, but I'm thinking it's Joseph or Joshua. MS, hi, will I ever be able to increase my income? First, you need to learn how to spend better or to manage your money better. I think that will help you tremendously. I don't think you're doing as good a job as you could do in that area. However, I think you're about 3.5, 4 years away from your income changing or shifting. But I feel like at that time, it probably has to do with either a change of work or a change of career. And that's why your income goes up at that time, okay? Shannara Snodgrass. Are there any spirits that follow me around? Um, I don't know if you're asking about like family member spirits or if you're asking about like your spirit guides or if you're asking about like random spirits out and about. I would say that you probably have, there is actually a young spirit. There's a young, but he's not like a spirit. So when I think of a spirit is someone who's, in my opinion, a spirit who has crossed over, come back, and then they come to visit us. And I feel that then there's ghosts, which are people who are also spirits, but they're stuck on like the earthly plane or they're stuck to their attachment here in the physical world. Then there's our spirit guides who are just from the other side and they have never really come into life with us. They're always on the other side and helping us as well. There's a young guy who I want to say either he died suddenly or unexpectedly, like in a vehicular accident, or he committed suicide in a vehicle who is around you. I don't know if he's related to you, but he might be connected to someone that either you're connected to or connected to the area or to the like the place that you live in. He might be connected to someone around there, and he just has been like connecting or following you around. But I mean, I don't think he's gonna try to hurt you or anything like that. But you might feel some of that energy and feel a little bit like heaviness there. But you can just tell him like, hey, dude, like, sorry, but I can't help you. You need to go find somebody else because I can't help you with any of the things that you're wanting my help with. So you need to come on, like, just get to getting, and I think he'll leave you alone. Lindsay Santos. Hi, Freddie. Any messages from my dad? Yeah, I keep seeing a ball. I don't know if this is a basketball or there's a ball that is significant because I'm seeing kind of a round ball. So I don't know if there's a special ball connection to him in that way, or if y'all were recently or today playing with the ball and he's just acknowledging watching y'all or being around y'all. He also keeps acknowledging, thank you, he's doing this whenever someone does that, it means I didn't get a chance to say goodbye or there wasn't the opportunity to say goodbye or I didn't get a chance to speak, but he's acknowledging that as well. He's repeating his name, so I want to say that there's another person that shares his name or shares his middle name because he's acknowledging that as well. He is doing this, so there might be a necklace or a coin that might, either it's a necklace with a coin in it or there's a coin and he's acknowledging the coins as being significant as well. He also keeps referencing the D name. It's a female D. I don't know if it's like Debbie or Dolores or Dina or Dana. There's a D female that he's referencing. Either is with him or he's wanting to say hi to the person here. Okay. Connie Posada, can you tell me if you can see what has caused my severe migraines for years? I have suffered from them. And yes, by the way, guys, I am not a licensed medical doctor, counselor, attorney, or law enforcement official. For legal medical advice or treatment, please consult a licensed professional. My statements are personal opinions, not proven facts. I am not a doctor. I cannot diagnose illnesses, but I will tell you what I'm seeing or what I'm feeling. Connie, as far as your migraines are concerned, I actually think that there might have been an incident or something that happened in the past that triggered an issue with the back of the neck. Either you were in an accident or there was a fall. So there might be like a pinched nerve or a pinched vessel that sometimes becomes constricted because of blood pressure issues. So blood pressure might bring it on, but I don't think it's because of blood pressure. I think it's just sometimes it brings it on. But I feel like there might be something there where the nerve isn't either fully expanding or it's causing something and it's creating issues in your brain. I want to say, even though you're talking about your brain and your migraines, I want to say you might need to keep an eye on your, you might need to go check your back or your spinal column because there may be an effect on that area. So if you go to a chiropractic doctor, they might be able to tell what's going on there. I also think you got an allergy in your house, something that you're using like a chemical that might be aggravating or affecting you as well. So if you look at the chemicals or whether it's cleaning solutions or anything like that that you started to use a few years ago when this started up, this may also be a contributing factor, but I feel like it's a combination of two separate things that might be contributing to it. Ishu Aurora. Can I pass my PEBC Pharmacy Examination Board of Canada document evaluation exam in Canada? Yeah, I feel you can. You might have to attempt it 2 times, or you might have to like change the date twice, because I feel like there might be more than one attempt that you might have to make with it. But I would say yes, I do think that you'll be able to. Novia Bernal, is my daughter really autistic, or will she grow out of this? I think she's going to have to learn to work around it. I do think that there's definitely a level of autism there, but I feel like there's like a spectrum. So when you think of someone who's autistic, people just want to call it like one thing, but there might be way more to her spectrum than you may realize. So I would suggest you get an additional diagnosis to see like where on the spectrum she is, because that'll help you understand what you need to do to kind of help her to get a little bit more stable in the way that she's going to be dealing with the world and dealing with stuff. Okay. Uma M. Hi, Fernie. Any message from my grandparents' mom's side? Also, is there any spirit near me? I felt like someone was lying on top of me yesterday. So there aren't any spirits around you. I mean, your loved ones visit you, so I would say that they come around you as well. And your mom, your grandma, she keeps acknowledging the hat picture. So you might have a picture of her where she's in the sun, or she's wearing like a visor and she's got the hat on. So there's a picture of this because she's referencing that. She also talks about the flowery blouse or the flowery shirt as well. So I don't know if y'all have that belong to her. Or you have her picture that she's wearing that in it because she's acknowledging this. It's really pretty. It almost reminds me of like the 90s, the 80s or the 90s. So there's a reference there as well. As far as, let's see, because this, I am not liking the YouTube comments thing because it doesn't let the comments sit up. Go back to where you were because I totally forgot the question. This is why I don't like them to disappear, because I don't remember the question. The grandmother thing. Oh, spirit around you. Yeah. I remember now. It wasn't a spirit that was laying on you. You were coming out of your own body. What happens sometimes is when people are fixing to astrally project, which most people don't even understand what astral projection is. Essentially, we are not designed to reside in our bodies, our physical constructed form, for too long, because it is not really natural for us. It's almost like forcing, someone who's like a size 10 into like a size 1 shoe. It just doesn't feel right or comfortable for us. So many times when we're sleeping, we basically like detach and we disconnect from our physical bodies, just because it's too restraining for us. And so when we're doing that, we're coming out of our own selves, and our body actually loses the ability to move, and we almost feel paralyzed. And so it's a type of condition. A lot of people want to say, oh, it's the demon, or demon's on you, or whatever. They've come up with all kinds of crazy ideas. You're just coming out of your own body, and you've lost the ability to use your body. That's what it is, and that's why you feel like something's pressing down on you, or you can't move, or you can't function, or there's a heavy weight on you. And it's because you are coming out of you, so the heaviness of your own energy is coming out at the same time as your body is no longer able to be used, because you're not using it anymore. You're disconnecting from it. So it was actually you having an astral projection experience. You didn't complete the process. You didn't complete the disconnect, but that's what it was, in my opinion. Myra Gonzalez, hey Fernie, are there any messages from my spirit guides, and what are his or her names? You have two. Both of them are male. Raphael is the main guide. He's the one that's with you from beginning of birth to death. And then your secondary guide's name is Jaus. Jaus. I've never heard the name before, but that's the way I'm hearing it. Jaus. And the message they want to give to you is you have psychic abilities. You need to learn to use them, because if not, you'll repeat the patterns that have continued in your family line. So you need to learn to use them properly, so that way you don't create the same energy dynamic that has been created in your family before with other people who have also had the ability. Seeking health. Will I ever have a romantic relationship? And if so, do you pick up on a name? Yeah, you'll have, I think you'll get into a relationship in about 2 years, 2 months, and the person's name is, I don't even know if you're a male or female. I don't even know if you're male or female or if you're gay or straight. But I'm going to give you the letters because that's what I want to say that the person's name begins with a BR. So there's a BR starting with the name. 2 years, 2 months. Priya Gupta. Hi, I want to know what Shri wants to tell me before marriage. It has something to do with the finances or money. So there might be a financial or money situation that you may not be aware of, or that you may need to be aware of. It may have to do with the family as well. So there may be a connection with the family, finances, etc., that you might need to be let in on. If that's not what he, if that's not what he says, then I would suggest. Yeah, if that's not what he suggests, I suggest you ask him about that as well, because that may be that may be something else that he's not telling you. Michael Mosqueda, how many past lives have I had? I think you've had 43, around that number. Princess Nai or Ni. Hey, Fernie, does GP feel? How does GP feel about me? The feeling is almost like amusement. In other words, like it's almost like like sometimes you're used to people being a certain way, and then every now and then someone surprises you. I kind of feel that sense of that, like amusement and kind of a little intrigue. That's all I'm feeling though, so I'm not really feeling anything deeper than that. But it may be because something hasn't been able to develop further than that. But I feel it's more interest, intrigue, almost a sense of curiosity is what I'm feeling there. It could grow though. It could turn into more. Celeste Moore, love you, Fernie. Can you tell me if I have any spirit attachments or attachments to my house or family? So, guys, what's interesting, thank you for asking the question. A lot of people love to just make their lives look like Hollywood. Like, oh my God, I'm possessed by a spirit, and like they're all crazy. And I'm just like, the hell's wrong with y'all? Like, y'all need to like snap out of it, pendeja. Like, people like to over dramatize our interactions with spirits. Spirits are around us all the time. And we're constantly engaging with their energy. They're constantly engaging with ours. Whenever someone in human form, like if I am in a bad mood and I like begin to like fester in my own mood, I'm sending out waves of energy, and people around me are going to pick up on all that energy. That's why I don't live in Houston anymore, and why I moved to New Mexico, because the energy was just too much, and there was too much energy going on there. With spirits, it's the same thing. Spirits are constantly coming around, and sometimes they interact with us, and sometimes they don't. Don't even think that you can have a spirit attach itself to you, because if you think that you're that vulnerable, or that you're that I wouldn't call it weak, but vulnerable, or you're that susceptible to someone controlling you or dominating you or whatever, you're basically giving the energy to that potential happening. And so you don't want to think that way. For me, like I'll be sitting in the living room and I'll be watching TV and I'll see a spirit. I don't see them like a physical person. For me, when I see a spirit, I actually see a little ball of light or a little orb in the air. It almost looks like like a little firefly. It sparkles and then it sparkles out and it fades. So I'll be watching TV and then it'll show up here or it'll show up there. And whenever they do that and I'm not working, because I don't work unless I'm working. I have set times, set schedules. If I'm doing it live or if I'm with a client on the phone, I'm not working. I'm checked out. And so for me, when they show up and they're trying to get my attention, I immediately am like, sorry guys, I'm off the clock. We have an agreement. I'm not going to do this unless y'all respect my space and respect my off time. So y'all need to come back when I am working, or you need to bring the person you want me to communicate with to me, because I'm not going to stop what I'm doing and having a normal life so that I can do this 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. My brain would blow up. So that's how I am with them. I'm very like tough with them, and they understand. They respect my boundaries, because they're still going to show up whenever I'm doing this work. But y'all need to be tough. Like, don't be pussies. Like, y'all need to get strong and tough in the way that you are basically telling them, like, get the hell out of my space. Like, get the hell out of my domain, because this is my space. This is me. So just FYI with that. And just FYI, I don't mean to be anti-feminist or anything like that. What I mean when I say pussy, it's an old term that is used, and we were like, what are you trying to say, that women are weak or whatever? No, I actually think women are the strongest beings on the planet, personally. But just FYI, for those of you who may misinterpret some of my words, okay? Faye Easton, hi Fernie. Any messages from my parents who have passed on? Faye, yeah, your father is Interestingly enough, he's apologizing. I'm not sure exactly for what, but he's apologizing and he's almost acknowledging or making me feel. I don't know if you feel like not enough was done to help him, or there was like missteps or something wasn't followed through to the letter, but there's a sense of like almost apologizing that either he should have done more or he didn't do enough to prepare for this or he wasn't ready for this. But there's almost a sense of this and like not helping with the process. So that's the way I'm being made to feel. He also keeps acknowledging the number two. So the number two is going to be significant. Either it's the second of a month or it's the month of February. Your mother is acknowledging, she's showing me flowers, or I don't know if these are daisies or sunflowers, but she's showing me flowers. So I don't know if you recently got some flowers for her, or you're planning on taking some this weekend, but she's acknowledging the flowers and saying thank you. She also keeps acknowledging a candle acting oddly, or a candle not wanting to turn itself on or having issues. So there's something there about this flickering light or this flickering candle that she's making a reference to, okay? So here's another example, guys, of how you're not being specific enough. Hey, how are you? Can you please tell me about a situation that is giving me insomnia and anxiety? Thank you. I have no idea what you're talking about. Guys, I'm not a mind reader. I can't read your mind and know exactly every single thought you're having. Like, if you think that that's how psychics work, good luck finding somebody who can do that, because nobody can do that. Some psychics can pick up on energy and thoughts, but we don't know like every single thing that you're thinking. So you come back and be a little more specific, and I'll try to give you some more detail on that. Okay, guys, remember you're gonna have to be specific with your questions, or I'm not gonna answer them. AP, hi Fernie, when will I meet the man I will marry? Thank you. I feel like you're about you're gonna hate me for this. About 3.5 years from now, you might meet somebody. Person's name starts with a P, like, yeah, it's P like pay or pie or P. They might go by the nickname and you might know them by the nickname, but there's a different name, but it's still with the P too. But I feel like they start with a P. Angelica Halfin. Hey, Fernie, was the dream last night a gift from my son Harrison? I believe it was, but it is also coming from an older female as well. So this is probably going to be from like a great aunt or a grandmother as well, because they're acknowledging more than one of them. Haley, Fernie, do you have any messages from my dad? Yeah. He's doing this. I don't know if you have a ring or if there's something on your finger or if you got something on your finger that is connected to him, but he's showing me this. So there's a reference there, unless you're engaging, you're about to get married, and that's what he's talking about. But there's a reference there, so he's acknowledging that. He also keeps showing me, it's gonna sound weird. I don't know if you have a picture of him and you have his eye, or if you have an eye that belonged to your dad. I know this sounds weird because I don't really know how to, in what context to put it, but I feel like there's an eye reference because I keep seeing his eye. So there's something about his eye and seeing his eye or having his, because he's showing me that. He also keeps acknowledging the leather. I don't know, there's a leather belt or a leather wallet that you also have as well, but there might be something etched in it as well, because I'm seeing something that reminds me of like a piece of leather, but it's got something in it as well. So he's acknowledging that as well. He also keeps acknowledging messing with the back door, or something about the back door being left open, or not, the lock not working right. And he's like, you need to fix your lock, but there's something about the back door, the additional door, the second door, and something wrong with it, or something funny about it. So he's acknowledging that as well. Okay. Blah blue. I live in a very toxic family. Is it better for me to leave immediately Monday to a women's shelter, or stay first, find a job, and then find a place? What should I do? Scared and confused. Thank you. So here's what I'm going to say. I think that if you are in a situation where it is dangerous for your health and you are under threat of violence, then you need to go to a shelter. I'm just going to put it out there like that. If you are just, it's just too much and you feel like you're going to self-destruct, I would look for another place as soon as possible as well. So I would get the hell out of there. You can try to work past this current moment and try to build yourself up so that you can get your own place. But that's going to take time. I mean, if you just think about it, you get a job and then you have to get money, are you going to have the credit to be able to get a place for yourself? Are you going to be able to afford, the money that it's going to take to move? And then on top of that, pay the rent? That may take a lot longer. So what I would suggest you do is really look at what's going to be best for you. But if you're under threat of violence, or if you are under threat in that way, you probably should go to a shelter. Okay. It really is your decision. I can't tell you what to do, but that's what I would suggest you do. And that's just because I come from a violent background home. And so I know what it's like to be in that kind of situation. And I wish my mom would have left a lot of times. She never did. And because of that, we had to pay the price. So Patrick Cullen, can I marry the girl from Australia? Absolutely. Should you? It's up to you, but I think you can actually do that in a month or two. So see what happens in about a month or two, and then I think you might actually have that opportunity at that time. But just just be aware, like you want to be sure that's what you want. You don't just want to run into it. Eleni Giannoglu. I hope I said that correctly. When is the coronavirus going to go away? I don't actually think it's ever going to go away, but the way that I've been, and I've mentioned this in my video on my YouTube channel, is I feel that there's supposed to be a shift in everything. I think there was going to be a little bit of a shift in May, but I feel like going into the end of May and early June, something's shifting. And I think once we get into June, it's when I started to see more people beginning to travel, or more people starting to feel more comfortable enough that they could travel. May is still, I think, going to be a weird month, because even though some of the places that have been hit hardest are going to start to settle down a little bit, some of the places that are just not taking this seriously enough, I think they're going to get hit hard for a little bit. So I feel that this is just not a really good situation right now. I'm a little worried about that. I'm actually worried about Houston, quite honestly. I've been worried about Houston. And the reason why I was worried about Houston is because in a reading that I did a few weeks ago, I kept seeing one of the ships, you remember that hospital ship that was in New York? I kept seeing similar vessel or something very similar pulling into the harbor in Houston. And I was like, which is funny because Houston has plenty of hospitals. I don't know why that would be necessary. So for me, that didn't make any sense whatsoever. But I almost feel like it was more of a research vessel, or more of something to do with research and less to do with just triage and stuff like that. So there was something weird about that. But I was a little worried about that. But I think that when we get to June and July, people are traveling again. People are starting to do stuff. We're not going back to normal, y'all. Like, for y'all to think that we're gonna, like, oh yeah, we'll just everybody open back up and start to do everything the way it's like. You must be dreaming, and you must be living in a fantasy world. And whatever you are taking, you probably need to bottle it, because you can make money off of that, so that way you have a source of income while you don't have a job, right? So I think that most people are going to feel comfortable enough that they can start going back to work, or starting to travel again around July and August, because that's when I felt there was more of a normalcy kicking back in. However, there's going to be a second period in the end of this year. So I've been talking, if y'all have followed me on Instagram, and if you followed me on my Facebook page, because I post a lot of stuff about this stuff that I see, I saw two peaks with the virus and the numbers. So I felt like there was going to be a first wave, and then there was going to be a second wave. But I saw them close to each other. So I feel like the first wave, and I even wrote this down in my Instagram thing, I felt like the first wave had already started back in December, and then slowly rose up, and then it went down, and then it went back up again in sharp, and there's more deaths. So I don't think we've seen the most amount of deaths or losses at this point. I feel like there's still more to come. But then once we get into, like I said, once we go into the end of May, going into June, something's shifting and changing. And then by July and August, I feel like there's a normalcy going in. Later this year, there's going to be a few cases that come up again at the end of this year around winter. And I think that's going to flip people out, and they're going to freak out, and they're going to start closing businesses. Schools are going to close again. Like, all that stuff is going to start happening again out of a precaution, and less to do with just because they want to. When that happens, that's going to trigger, like, again, more economic stuff going on. But at the same time, I don't actually think it's going to be anywhere near as bad as it was right now. I think we'll still have cases, but the way I've been seeing it is that at the end of the year, it's more out of precaution and reaction that people are doing it than it is like because it's going to be the numbers are going to be just as bad as well. But I still feel like it's going to be there, but I don't think the cases are going to be nearly as much. And I got a sense that it was more because people were getting the flu, and then they were going to freak out, they thinking that the flu was the virus when it wasn't. So that's what I was seeing in that way. Okay. Um, Thank you, Marie Bright. Aw, I love you, Marie. Nadia Mosqueda. Should my husband return to work, his job will not approve any more time off, and wants him back, but not PPE. It's up to him. It's for him to decide. I feel that he's going to go back. That's how I'm seeing it. I feel like he is going to go back to work. He might like lose 1 week, however, but I do think that he is going to go back to work. Is how I'm seeing it play out. Marlon Garcia. Hi, Franny. Any messages from my grandmother or father? Thank you. Yeah, so with your, interestingly enough, so first of all, your grandmother's almost acting like you're her child. So I don't know if she actually raised you like you were her child, or if you just spent a lot of time with her and she just calls you her baby, or because she keeps calling you the baby. It's funny, she calls you the baby. So I don't know if you're actually the youngest one in the family or she just referred to you as her baby. But there's a reference there. She also keeps acknowledging the number 11, so either November or the 11th of a month is connected. If it's not that, then it's January 1st. But there's a reference there as well. She also keeps acknowledging birds. So birds are going to be a symbol from your grandmother. Feathers are going to be a symbol from your grandmother as well. She also keeps acknowledging the roof needing to be replaced, or something about the leak in the room. So there's a reference there if you just recently discovered that, or if you've been dealing with that. She's just acknowledging that. She also keeps talking about the smell. I feel like I can smell something in the kitchen. Sometimes when you're like going to the kitchen or you're around the kitchen, you might smell this. I feel like it's a cinnamony, like nutty cinnamony smell that you might sometimes pick up on. And I feel like even though no one's cooking, that she's acknowledging, like sometimes she's in there trying to get your attention or let you know she's around you. She also keeps acknowledging it's funny, she's making fun of her eyebrows. I don't know if she used to paint her eyebrows on, or there was something funny about her eyebrows not being dark enough or being too dark, or there's something about that, but she's making fun of her eyebrows, so she's acknowledging her eyebrows. So there's a reference there as well. Also your father, I don't know if there was a disconnect with the family, or he kind of like disconnected for a while, or there was a separation and he's acknowledging, but there's almost a disconnect because he's acknowledging being away or not being close by. So he's referencing that disconnect or that, detachment. He also is referencing the number 7. So either July might be significant or the 7th of a month might be significant. Okay. Um, XDMVO. Will me and my ex reconcile or improve communication? He said he wants me but isn't financially stable. Um, Even though you're talking about finances, I feel like he's not all mentally or emotionally like in the best place in his life. I don't think the finances are the biggest issue. I think there's some emotional stuff going on there or mental stuff going on there that he probably needs to look into. I would say that he actually himself, by himself, probably needs to talk to somebody, because I think that he needs to work through his own personal demons that he needs to get through. I also think that there's something he either hasn't shared with you yet, or there's something he's holding back on that he might need to share with you as well. Because I feel like I'm questioning myself, or I feel like I'm questioning what I want, and I feel like he's not being honest about something's there. So you might need to open him up a little bit more, try to see if he can share with you. But I think he needs to go with someone, because I think he needs help as far as trying to work through his own personal demons. Okay. Time away, I heard him say. Myra Gonzalez. Any messages from my mom? She passed away when I was 12, or a message from my dad. I heard he passed but away, but never had a connection with him. Feel I need to go to where he used to live. Um, I think that has more to do with you and you feeling the need. I think your guides are trying to tell you that to go to where he used to live because there may be more going on there, or there may be more that you might be able to find from the people that live there still that might shed some light on that. I almost feel like you were being protected or people were trying to protect y'all. I also feel like there might have been either some inappropriate behavior from him, or he may not have been like the kindest person, so there might be something there that's an issue for him as well. But it may have been like just as a person, he may either drunk too much or something that he was doing that made him that way sometimes. So there's a reference there as well. As far as your mother is concerned, she keeps acknowledging Lucia or Lucy or Losi or Lolo or Lily or Lala. It's almost like an L sounding short nickname or name. At first I thought I was thinking of Lucy, and then because my godmother's name is Lucia, but I was thinking of that. But there's something there that she's making a reference to. There's a little dog with her in spirit, so she's got a little dog with her also. It might even be a Chihuahua. So just FYI, there might be a small dog that belonged to the family at some point. She also keeps acknowledging the rainbow. So you might have seen a rainbow and thought of your mom, or there might be a rainbow association as a sign because she's acknowledging that for you as well. She also has got a baby with her in spirit, so she's acknowledging a child with her that was miscarried, lost, or terminated. But then she's also acknowledging a child with you as well. That she, either you've had actually two. So I don't know if you've had two children or there's two children that she didn't get a chance to meet, but there's a reference there as well. Kimberly Kish, right? My father passed when I was only 10, never really got to say goodbye. Is there any messages from me? Yeah, he is showing me. I don't know if there used to be a little musical toy or like a little musical box, or like you remember the Jack in the Box? I'm seeing that. So there's something there about a musical box or musical toy or something that would make music because he's acknowledging that. He also keeps referencing it's one of two things. Either you saw a this is a different sign that I've never really seen before. It's a different symbol. I've never seen people use this symbol before. I don't know if you saw praying mantis or you saw some sort of weird insect, but there's something about a praying mantis or insect that you might have seen or you might have encountered, and he's like acknowledging him or saying that he sent this. So there's a reference to that. He also keeps acknowledging you drawing or drawing a picture or trying to make a piece of paper as art or taking a picture and turning it into art, but there's something around that as well because he keeps referencing that. He also keeps acknowledging someone almost burning the tree down. So I don't know if one of y'all almost burnt the tree down one year, or there was something about the tree catching on fire, the tree burning, but he's making a reference for something like that as well. He says he loves you, so he's acknowledging that, and he says he loves you. There might be a picture of him where either he had he had sideburns like this, or there's like a lot of hair here, but there's a reference to his picture like this. That he's wanting to bring attention to. Okay. Michelle Jones. Hi, Fernando. What is my spirit guide's name, and is there a message from them? Yeah, your spirit guide's name is Gabrielle. Gabriella. Or Gabrielle. It's a female. You only have one guide, so you only have the one. She is wanting to let you know that you need to really make sure that you get your finances in order, or that you pay attention to your money situation this year, because it's just going to feel a little bit out of control, and I think you might actually make it worse. And so it's almost like you need to be really conservative with your finances or money and spending this year. She also keeps acknowledging eating more greens or getting more greens into your diet. So you might need to eat more green leafy foods or greens because it might help you. There's a reference to you having like an iron deficiency, and sometimes spinach and stuff like that might be able to help you with that. Okay. Brandy P. Do I attract people who disrespect me and who want to take me down? The answer is yes. I think you were actually conditioned by your family to be this way. I think this is going to continue on until you take responsibility for feeling and having that mindset, and then that can change. What I would recommend and what I would suggest is, first of all, you need to understand what you're doing internally, thought-wise, to validate or to affirm this reality. You can probably do that through. You need to watch The Secret, or if you haven't already watched The Secret, you can also read the book, but I would say watch The Secret. Another thing that I would recommend is you need to learn to love unconditionally. The thing about it is, and something that I've learned, is that it's hard to trust people who have a tendency of wanting to like screw you over. But when you unconditionally love, you just love people no matter what, you're gonna see patterns and you're gonna start to see things. And what I would say is the people that you have experience with, the people that you've already interacted with, who have certain tendencies or personality traits, etc., when you meet new people, if they even slightly or remotely remind you of someone you knew, immediately associate that with the old energy and then go ahead and shift gears and get away from that person. Because all you're going to do is just bring up the same energy and cycle. And you're not just attracting them to you, you're becoming attracted to those people. So I feel like that's something that you need to work on. Like I said, like whenever I meet somebody new, if they have any aspect or any traits that even remotely remind me of someone that I've dealt with in the past who was, not the best experience for me, I get the hell away from those people. I don't even give them a shot, and I just immediately make a quick judgment. No, 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 I'm not going to engage or encounter this energy anymore. I love them. I send them love. I send them love in the best way possible, but I can send them love from a distance. I don't need to have that person in my life, even if I don't know the person. Doesn't matter to me because I am so sensitive to those patterns that when I see those patterns, immediately like, nope, no, no, not even going anywhere. L. Watt. Hi, Franny. Can you please tell me if my dad, Rich, who passed away last year, has any messages for me? Thank you. Yeah, he's pointing to himself. He's actually doing this. I don't know if he had an issue with his heart or he's actually just pointing to himself because he didn't do everything he was supposed to do, or there were some things maybe he felt he should have done differently because he's almost doing this. He also keeps acknowledging, it's gonna sound weird. I don't know if there's a baby monkey. I don't I don't know if there's a baby monkey or there's a little monkey stuffed animal or there's some sort of little monkey. Because I'm seeing George. Do you remember like Curious George? So I'm seeing a little monkey. So I don't know if there's a little monkey thing that he is making reference to or acknowledging. He also keeps making a stomach. So I don't know if you're planning on having more children or if he's acknowledging like having a baby and you letting you know that there's a baby coming. But he's doing this. So he's referencing this area of his body like a stomach, stomach, stomach. He also keeps acknowledging the number 17. So either January 7th is significant or 17 is significant of any month. He also keeps referencing the month of May. So May also be significant as well. He also keeps acknowledging a falling star or shooting star, or you looking at the stars and then thinking of him because he's referencing that as well. Okay. Jessica Jocelyn, any messages for my guides and if I'm in the right path? I think you're in the right path for the next 2 or 3 months, and then there's going to be a change for you. So I think once you get into the next 2 or 3 months, so we're in May, June, July. I want to say at the end of July, going into August, there may be an opportunity for you to kind of take on way more responsibility or to shift gears and be more responsible either for your family or for your career in your work situation. Step up to it, because once you step up to it, I really think that you are going to be able to like really shine, and I think that's going to be a good thing for you. And then you're stuck in a 2-year pattern, so the pattern will continue on for another 2 years after that period. I also feel that you probably need to take, thank you, they're like doing this and they're acknowledging either getting more certification, credentials, education, courses, etc. So there may be something else you can do or something else you've been thinking about doing. They're just like supporting this or validating that this might be a good option for you as well. Okay. Takazo Kandawi. I don't like my job currently. Do you see me in a job I love soon? Thanks. Not right away, really. I think you're probably going to stick with the same job until January, and then once January comes around, I think you'll just start with another organization, or you'll start with another company altogether. And I think that in itself. So let me go into this a little bit in detail, because when people get tired or frustrated with their jobs and they just don't want to do it anymore, I don't tell people to just leave, because if you just leave to just escape it, you're not dealing or confronting the energy, and it will show up again in your next job situation. And it'll feel like, am I deja vuing? Is like this happening all over again? So for you, what I would suggest is that you need to confront whatever is not making you happy there. That doesn't mean you go and fix it. That just means you try to find a way to make peace with it, so that way you can still be or go to work and do the best that you can, or make the best of it, even if the best that you can make from it is just clocking in and clocking out, right? Because if you can get to a place of peace with it, if you go to a new job, this energy will not follow you, and then you will not repeat the cycle in the next job. So I would say you need to confront and you need to deal with the energy while you're here. And then in January, when you start the new job, then I think that'll be a better situation for you. Because if not, you're going to repeat the cycle and you're going to find yourself in a similar situation. Hey, Franny, do I have a romantic soulmate coming in the future? So yeah, I mean, you've got plenty of soulmates that you could connect with in life. But I feel that you are probably about 2 years and 7 months from meeting somebody who's going to be a good fit for you. They may be a teacher, or they may work with kids, or a university. Okay. Richard Dearden, how is the best way to get our vibrations up for readings and grounding too? So here's the thing: when it comes to readings, just, there's different ways to raise your vibration or raise your frequency. When it comes to psychic work, you don't really need to raise your vibrations, because psychic work is thought work. It's what it is. Psychic work is so much different from mediumship work. Mediumship work requires you to raise your vibration or frequency, because you have to think of it this way. We here in the physical world, imagine that this is a big swimming pool, and in the physical world, we're kind of swimming around trying to, figure it all out or whatever. When we're in a bad place mentally or emotionally, we're at the bottom of the pool. Those in spirit aren't even in the pool with us. They're on the outside, standing at the edge of the pool, looking down at us. And so in order for us to communicate with them, we got to raise our vibration or frequency, so that we're closer to the edge of the pool. We can't get out of the pool because we're stuck here, but for as long as we're stuck here, but we can get as close to the edge as possible, and it makes it easier for us to make out what they're saying or what's going on there. So anything that you can do to make yourself feel good or light or at peace is a great way to raise your vibration. When I first started doing this, it was so hard for me to raise my vibration, because by nature, I can be a bitch. So I had to really work to build my energy up. Now in the morning, like I can, even like if I watch the news and it's like horrific news, I can probably still do a reading and be just fine. But what I used to do is I used to listen to music that gives you the chills, because that raises your energy. I used to watch sometimes comedy or a little funny snippet in the morning, because that would make me happy, or that would make me laugh, and that would raise my energy. I would, sometimes I would meditate, but meditation can be really boring, because, it's almost you're just sitting there and breathing, which is just relaxation. But whenever I'm doing mediumship work, I'm not in a relaxed state. I'm actually having to be very active and engaged. So for me, meditation actually kind of does the opposite of helping me to connect further with them, unless I'm going higher than that level. Because spirit energy resides on a particular frequency and vibration. When you go to like a spirit guide, and when you go to your soul, and when you go to source or God, that's much, much higher vibration. So you have to go into a much deeper, more in you have to go inward really deeply within you, and you have to get to a place where you're kind of just with your thoughts, but you're aware of them, but you're not actually having them, they're having you. So it's kind of a weird thing, which is where the channeling comes in. But when it comes to like communicating with spirits, that's what I have to do. I have to do that to raise my vibration. So anything that makes you laugh or makes you feel good or makes you feel light or at peace is a great way to raise your energy. For psychic work, all that's required is that you pay attention to your thought processes, and that you're aware of what's bouncing around in your brain in the moment that you're doing the reading. And then as time goes on and you pay attention to that, you will use it, because they're all symbolic representations for something. So for example, when I think of a candle can not just be a candle can also be a representation of light, or a candle can represent something that is easily like swayed or easily like dissolved if you blow it out really quickly. So it depends on the person and how they relate to the information. But it just depends on the kind of reading that you are going to be doing. Richard, I know you're asking more about it. Yes, mediumship talking, still trying to get me down. If you haven't already done so, go and take my psychic development class. It is free. It is online. It is on my YouTube channel. It is available for anybody to take. You can get there from my website as well, fernandomarone.com. Go down to classes, click the free class, watch the 2.5 hour class, and you'll be like up to speed to where I was when I actually started to do this professionally. When I started to do this professionally, there was a lot of things that I learned that I didn't learn in reading a book. And there's a lot of stuff that you realize in training while you're in the training that you don't realize. But that's why I now offer like a psychic development / mediumship one-on-one coaching and mentorship, because I want to be with the person while they're sensing to help them work through their processes. So that's what that is about. And I'm actually going to put out a video soon of me with one of my students doing exactly that, so y'all can see what that process looks like from both of our perspectives. But you have to engage the energy in different ways depending on what kind of reading you're going to be doing. Okay. L. Watt, I know you didn't get the reference to the monkey. It could also be a nickname like Chango or Monkey, or something to do with like a monkey name as well. So be aware of that. But there's something there about this monkey reference. Joanne Middaw. Do you have any messages for me from my godmother Marie, who passed in 2004? Thank you. Yeah, there are 4 females for you in spirit. So she's got 2 or 3 other females with her, and then there's another female as well, who may be on a different level, who may be younger as well. She also keeps acknowledging the name Rosie or Rosa or Rosalinda or Rosalina. There's a Rose sounding name that she's making reference to. I don't know if it's with her or there's someone here she's wanting to acknowledge with that name. She also keeps acknowledging, thank you. She's making my shoulder feel weird. I don't know if she was having pain in her shoulder or she kept feeling weird sensations on her shoulder and her upper back, because she's making me feel a little bit weird here. So she's acknowledging that. She also keeps referencing the blue stone, or like the birthstone. So I don't know if you have a blue birthstone piece of jewelry that's connected to her, or she got you a blue birthstone, but there's something about a blue stone or blue birthstone either earrings or piece of jewelry, because I'm seeing something like that as well. She also keeps referencing birds, so birds are also going to be a symbol from her also. Okay, all right guys, I am done. So I love you all. I will be back tomorrow on Instagram to do another hour, because I was supposed to be on yesterday. I got food poisoning yesterday. I had to cancel my entire day, so I wasn't able to do anything yesterday, but I am okay now today. Tomorrow I will be on Instagram same time for 1 hour as well. So if you are not following me there, get your asses over there and sign up, or just follow me, and then you'll be notified whenever I get on there tomorrow. Okay, I love you all, and I will talk to you next time. Okay, bye bye.